Everybody, we are live again. Dynasty Mirror Search for Uhuru. And I have the brother Holip Sism on with us today. And today's topic is reparations versus building a nation of our own.
Peace, everybody.
So Holip, would you take a check if you had to choose, Holip, between a check but stay here versus some land and to build? What would you choose, Holip? Like what would you choose?
Well, since when it comes to this, I'm thinking about the future of our people, I would take the land
Why would you take the land?
because that's the future. Like a check, if you get a check as an individual here in America, but you haven't established any land, you haven't established any infrastructure, then basically you're just going to end up giving that money back to the white establishment that gave it to you.
True.
I mean, unless you like in your case, like what you said is if you get a check, you out of here.
Yeah.
I think like I wouldn't like if I'm in the same position as you. If people want to fight for a check, I'll take it
Uh-huh.
and I'll be gone.
Right.
And y'all can deal with your second and third class citizenship over here and fighting back and forth with the white man all you want to. But I'd be gone with the check. But to me, it's just short sighted when people are looking for a check. I actually did a blog post on this very topic that we're talking about,
Go
like
ahead.
in the BAIO,
Go ahead. Let's
where I
let's
was saying,
dig into
and
that.
and one of the things that I wanted to do was, I'm not even gonna look at the chat room while we having this live stream because I get pulled into the toxic bullshit.
But we want that's classic Holip.
Yeah, I know, but I'm trying to start a new leaf because it's like I'm listening to people and they saying, if you're representing a concept, you want to represent it properly. And I don't want to be going back and forth with idiots because
Right.
it just takes away from the overall message. So I wanted to get into where the ADOS and nationalists sort of have, well, I would say BAIO nationalists have some common ground.
Okay.
And me and you were talking about this before the show went on. And I don't think that the term ADOS is divisive at all. I
Right.
don't think I don't think there's a reason for continental Africans to be upset about it, and I don't feel that there's a need for Black people here in America to be upset about it. I don't think that it's just a classification; it's a distinction. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Correct. But some
So I don't
people
have a.
find it offensive for some reason.
I think it's because of it seems to be one of those things where there's people get out of this movement what they from their own perspective. Like there's some people that see it and go, "Yeah, that's right. African Americans against the world. Fuck Africans." Da 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 da. You know, some
Right.
people will see that.
And some people are saying that, and I don't agree with that.
Right. Some people will say that. Then other people will say, "Well, yeah, we are in a unique situation as African Americans here in America. So the distinction of ADOS is not anything that's offensive. It's an accurate description of who we are."
Right.
And those same people are still Pan-Africanists.
True.
Then you have people who like I've never really referred to myself as a Pan-Africanist because I think it's a lot of baggage that comes with that term,
Okay.
although I'm not against it.
Do the unpackage the baggage. Like what baggage do you when you say you're Pan African? What baggage comes along with that? I've never heard that before. Only baggage
Oh,
I've
really?
heard of that. Well, me and Collis spoken on this before, as far as the burden of Pan Africanism being on us in the West. But what baggage do you have to
Well,
carry?
that's mainly it. That's the baggage that I'm talking about. It's like it just
Okay.
seems that everybody talks about Pan-Africanism, but we have a unique situation here in America.
Right.
And this is why I understand the ADOS movement. I'm not against it. I understand and I even understand where Yvette and Tone Talks is coming from.
Uh,
I don't agree with it, but I understand it.
right.
Um, I just don't know. Let me not get into that. I'm trying to be cool.
No. Dude, I mean, we want classic Holip. Holip is
I'll
that
just say to answer your question,
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
the baggage I'm talking about is the same baggage you and Kyle are talking about. It's like it's one-sided in the sense that it seems like every time we have the ability to just see our people as one and the same. So if an African comes to America and let's say he gets assaulted by the police, we don't give a shit that he's from the continent. We see another black man.
Right, like Amadou Diallo. You're in.
Exactly.
Right. Right.
You know, so we have this sense of oneness in terms of how we see our people in general. And I'm talking generally. Of course, you got African Americans that's on some bullshit where they hate continental Africans. And I've always said that there's enough stupidity to spread around. Like I've met ignorant African Americans, ignorant ADOS, if we're going to use that classification,
Right.
and I've met ignorant people from the continent. You know, there's some people in the call. There's somebody that was in your chat room on the last live stream we did, on the comment section, I should say,
Uh-huh.
who said that he was from Africa. He's African, but yet he's telling us that as ADOS, we're not African. And I said, well, you're not even going according to your own philosophy. Because
Right.
I can pull you African proverbs to tell you that just because a log is in water for 10 years, it doesn't make it a crocodile.
Right.
That's from you. That's not coming from us.
Yeah, if you take a lion out of Africa and move them to the Proverbs. You know, if you take a lion or a tiger.
Malcolm X said if a cat has kittens in an oven, that don't make the kittens biscuits.
Right.
You know, so it's like it's amazing how people want to present this argument that we are just something brand new. No, we're Africans. That this is we're descended from Africa. We were brought over as slaves, but that doesn't mean that we're not still African.
Right.
As a matter of fact, just like in our language, the way that we interpret English, because English is a foreign language to us, we interpret it in an African way. That's what the whole Ebonics thing was about, that everybody misunderstood what the whole thing was. They thought that it was about slang. It had nothing to do with slang. It had to do with what do you do when you take...
It's pidgin.
Yeah. What do you do when you take an African language system, transport it to an English system, and the dynamic that happens when you do that? That's all it is. We still do certain things that just linguistically are originate in Africa. So we're still African. You know, people feel uncomfortable with that term. To me, I've always said African is just a political term. What it means is that you connect yourself with the continent. There's plenty of countries in Africa, so just saying Africa is just generic. It's general. You know? But you know, that's them smart, dumb Negroes who always want to come up with something to drop the mic with.
Drop the mic. All right. So someone in the chat room says, Bob Johnson says, and where's your comment at, Bob? Reparations will be used to build our own nation. Title is mad rhetorical. No, well, this is the issue.
Wait, say that again? I didn't understand.
Reparations will be used to build our own nation. The title is mad rhetorical. Okay. But there are some people, when you're dealing with the ADOS movement, you know, Yvette Carnell and Tone, it's reparations or bust. There's nothing in that says build your own nation. So
nothing.
That's why, you know, the title is reparations versus building a nation of your own.
Which is why I said people look at this movement and they take from it what they will. It's like, right. I would say go to the website and look at their agenda. It's clearly there. Those two are the ones that's behind this movement initially. So go to their website and check it out and see what they say. It's right there. As a matter of fact, like I said, I did a blog post on this on the BAIO site.
Mm-hmm.
And this was what I said, that the agenda can be summed up with the final sentence of the agenda. If you go to the ADOS website and you look at the agenda, the final sentence says, without these measures being instituted, ADOS are locked out of the country our ancestors built during chattel slavery.
Because I know you're very, I guess, the whole concept that we built this country, therefore we have equity in it.
Oh, I'm going to get to that.
Okay, go ahead.
It says, without reforms through transformative government, keep that in mind, transformative government. we will be left to continue living a third world life in a first world country. And what I said about that was, in short, that right there, the whole black agenda, so-called black agenda on their website, and I'm just being objective. I'm not being, using disrespect to anything. I'm just looking at it objectively. It's an elaborate, long-winded love letter to America, begging to be included and represented in the American government, in American society at large. That's what it is. I mean, am I wrong?
No, you're not. Not at all.
They just said it. It said right there that they want transformative government. I noticed that they didn't say they want a nation.
Right.
They want to transform the American government. I guess they want to transform white people too.
That won't happen.
I don't think the transformative government is going to happen.
Hmm.
And I don't really understand why you don't want a nation of your own. And this is where I think like I said, the rubber hits the road. The big difference between where we're coming from and where the people that originated it are coming from is that they feel that they are going to change America and make America work for them.
Do you think it can happen, Holip? Like if we come together and rise up, do you think that America will finally listen to our demands and change and serve the best interests of Black people?
I think it can happen if we do it our way. I don't think it'll happen if we do it their way.
Mm-hmm.
And what I do is I look at other ethnic groups and how they operate inside of America. Like the Koreans and the Chinese don't have any set aside land. They don't have any. They don't control the infrastructure in America,
Right.
right? Like all the things that we talk about that Black folks need to do, they're in America and they're not doing it. But the difference is they have a host nation. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly.
Like they have a host nation that they can always have as a backup or a part two.
Did I ever tell you a story about the Indian immigrant in Alabama?
I don't think so.
All right, so obviously, we're always getting our ass kicked by the police, right?
Mm-hmm.
They go in front of the ghost, this mysterious grand jury, which I have no clue what a grand jury is, and I don't know what the hell a grand jury. I don't know what a grand jury is to this day. Just like a ghost, some type of ghost court or ghost jury. I have no clue. So, and then the police officer is found not guilty, or goes on leave and paid leave. So there's a story of this Indian immigrant who was just at night in Alabama, just walking the streets. He was visiting his son, so he decided to take a walk late at night.
You talking about East Indian?
East Indian, yeah, East Indian.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. So red dot.
Mm-hmm.
So someone calls the police on him because they mistook him for a black man. So the East Indian guy didn't speak any English. The police pull up, starts yelling commands, and the police ends up whooping his ass.
Mm-hmm.
Since you're speaking on host nation, an Indian ambassador flew from India 2 days later
Mm-hmm.
to America. That police officer was fired that day.
Right. Right.
Meanwhile,
I'll give you another example that happened in Brooklyn. If you remember years ago, a Jewish man killed a black kid in Brooklyn. They put his ass on a plane, sent him to Israel. He escaped all types of prosecution.
Are you serious?
Yeah. It happened years ago. I forget I don't recall the name offhand, but I can probably do a web search and find out. But that's what happened in Brooklyn. He killed the dude. I think it was like a traffic. Had something to do with a car. Either hit and run, or some shit like that.
Uh-huh.
And they took his ass, put him on a plane. He went to Israel. He never faced any prosecution. because the Jews have a backup. They
Right.
have a part too. See, we want to put all our eggs in this basket. And the reason why I feel like we do that is because you don't really have real black men and real black women in charge of these movements.
Right.
What you have is people who just want to get in where they fit in. Like, what's that term you in college use? Jockeying for position?
Oh, jockey for position under white supremacy.
Yeah, that's what they do. They don't have any concept of the term of power. Like, take for instance, ADOS is a movement. It's talking about, like, Yvette and them always talk about how we don't have no money.
Right.
And what they basically, and I don't even disagree with her when she says, I think it's a little bit, hyperbolic to say we don't have no money, because if we don't have no money, how are you getting Patreons and PayPals?
She's a misery merchant, but
yeah, if we ain't got no money, then you wouldn't be asking for money. So I think that's a little bit disingenuous. But her overall point is we're not generating wealth. We're getting most of our wealth from working for white people. And this spending power that everybody talks about doesn't equate to wealth. I agree with that. And that's a point that we've always been making.
Mm-hmm.
But the difference is this. If you're saying that, you're actually making the case for nationhood without even realizing it. Because if you're saying that because we just getting money, that doesn't mean that equates to wealth and power. How do you turn around and think that a reparations check is going to equate to power? You're being contradictory. You see what I'm saying? You can't turn around and say, oh, well, we ain't got no money, even though we have $1 trillion worth of spending power. That $1 trillion of spending power doesn't equate to wealth. I agree with you. So then how does reparations equate to wealth? The only way reparations would equate to wealth is if you actually had a nation state or a government, because then the money wouldn't be going to individuals, it would be going to your nation state and your government. And that would equate to wealth, because you'd be creating jobs when you start building up your infrastructure, and you have your hard infrastructure and your soft infrastructure, which is the institutions. So you're creating blue collar jobs and white collar jobs by simply building up your nation state. So you wouldn't have to go to white people begging them for jobs, because you'd be creating jobs on your own. And those reparations, whatever those resources are, will go towards your nation state and not to individuals so they can put it in their pockets. And if it's me, I want the reparations to go to a government that represents us rather than you just giving me a check. I mean, it would work out for me, but haven't we been experiencing that long enough, Dynas? We got this everybody's on this Captain Solo shit, this Han Solo shit.
Right.
When are we going to do something collectively as a people? So I'm just going to sit back and wait for my check. And that's the way to liberation. We still don't have a government. We still don't have an institution.
I disagree with you, Holip. Do you want to know when we come together as a collective?
When?
I want you to go to, I think, is there a Jimmy Jazz on 125th? Is there a Jimmy Jazz on 125th?
Yes. Yeah, there's one there. There's one in downtown Brooklyn too.
Okay. When the J's drop, watch when the J's drop. Show up to Jimmy Jazz that morning. If the J's are dropping Saturday, Jimmy Jazz opens at 10. I want you to drive by Jimmy Jazz at 5 a.m.
Oh, of course. Of course. I see it all the time. When I'm downtown Brooklyn, if a new sneaker drop, there's a line outside of those stores. But what I want to know is, see, there's two different discussions that we can engage in. We can engage in the individual discussion, meaning if you as an individual have a certain amount of resources, you can go to Africa right now. You don't need to have a nation state. You can go to Africa and merge into whatever African society there is overseas as an individual. You can do that. You know?
Mm-hmm.
What we're saying is, when are we going to establish something of our own? If we're making this distinction that we're American descendants of slavery, and we're making a distinction, meaning that we're distinct from all the other African ethnic groups, what are we going to do with that distinction to me, it's wasting it if you just want to be a fucking American. Then if you want to be an American, drop the descendants of slavery and just be American.
Guys, we have 137 people watching, only 19 likes. Please get these likes up. And LaBoy Michael, do me a favor. I want you to send me an email to searchforguru@gmail.com. Give me your address. I'm going to send you a postcard. Whoever super chats, you'll get a postcard. I'll go ahead and send you guys one. So make sure you email me your address. All right, go ahead, Holip.
Yeah. If you're making the distinction that you're an American descendant of slavery, I agree with you. What I'm saying is, when are you going to form something, a government, an institute? You got to form some type of organization, because if you do not, reparations is just going to be like that $1.3 trillion spending power. What fucking difference does it make if you get a check for slavery if you don't have anything in place to actually establish something of your own? That's why I think they're being contradictory. You're saying, oh, we ain't got no money, so give me more money. And how does that equate to anything? Did that equate? You just proved to me that having money in America does not equate to wealth, but yet you want an extra check. How does that equate to wealth? So like I said, they're making the case for nationalists. If you're going to have reparations, as I said before, is repairing a nation. It's not repairing individuals. It's repairing a nation. So you want the reparations and you're just going to leave the nation part out, and you just want to give a check to individuals. How does that equate to black people, or I should say ADOS, establishing some type of social, economic, and political infrastructure or power? How? And I usually get blank stares. I usually get hama to that old Ralph Cramden bullshit.
So again, so what about so part of the reparations is they want to build, I guess, infrastructure here that benefit descendants of slaves here in America, and they want protection status.
Well, first of all, the infrastructure in America is already built. So do they mean take over infrastructure like they want the white
I mean institutions, I guess. I'm sorry.
I want to know what's preventing us from doing that now.
We don't have the money.
So we need money to do the institutions.
Right.
That's interesting. So then here's my suggestion. When are we going to start an ADOS fund where ADOS can contribute on a monthly basis toward whatever agenda they want to do? Wouldn't that? I would be down with that. And it don't even have to be, I don't even have to be in control of the fund. Does that sound like a good idea?
So similar to the Muhammad economic plan with the Nation of Islam.
Thank you.
ADOS.
Thank you. Except it wouldn't just be for the Nation of Islam. It'd be for everybody that classifies themselves as ADOS in America. Is that a good idea, or is that bullshit?
That's a good idea. ADOS in the chat room. Okay, hold on. Here we go. ADOS in the chat room. Does that make sense? I mean, I never thought about that. Just having a separate fund. And
yeah, if you classify yourself as ADOS, shouldn't we put aside a certain amount of funds every month? Like, if I would be willing to contribute $10, $20 a month, I would do that without even thinking about it. I would do it if despite who, well, I can't say that. I can't say despite who's in charge of it, because we need to have some diversity and some people in there who are not just Captain America Negroes and Black Power Americans. I mean, the Black nationalists and African Senate progressives would have to be represented in that fund. It can't just be a pure Captain America Negro fund. I'm not going to contribute to that shit. This is why I say, why are we fighting each other when actually the ADOS in America can actually be supported by Black nationalists and African Senate progressives, which we already do. The only thing that's not, it's just one-sided because the ADOS in America don't support nationhood on the continent. So it's a one-sided relationship right now. Every time, if in the BAIO, if there's somebody in America that is trying to do something, not only do we support it, we actually promote it. There's been people that's trying to do farmers markets and shit like that, and other type of institutions. We promote that. We're not sitting up there going, "Oh, yo niggas love America." We're not doing that. We support you. But when it comes to us and us trying to establish the nation state on the continent, all we getting is hate. Wouldn't it make more sense if we work together?
Right.
To me, it's no conflict. You can actually fight for your rights here in America, and you can also establish your nation state on the continent because you're going to benefit from it either way. Let's say the ADOS movement in America achieves their goal of getting individual checks for people. Then that would help Black nationalists, right? Because you get a check. What did you say you was going to do? You get your check. Where you doing? Where you going?
Going back home to the house.
There you go. So, and let's say
But like I
that,
said, I'm dipping. I get my check. I'm dipping.
right, exactly. Now, let's say on our end, on the Black nationalist end, we are actually able to establish the nation state and get that up and running and going. Wouldn't that benefit ADOS in America?
Absolutely.
So I don't see where the conflict is. I don't see the reason why I got to hate on you or you got to hate on me. Why don't we work together?
No, again, the conflict, Holip, is the blood equity here in America.
What do they mean?
The blood equity that our ancestors put in building this country. That would be the conflict. Why would we leave when we have the blood equity?
But you're not leaving.
Well, in regards to building a nation. Why would
But
they
how does that conflict with your blood equity in America? You can stay here in America and fight for your blood equity and still have the nation state on the continent. They're not in conflict with each other. There's no conflict.
Well, per the hardcore ADOS, this is our country.
And it can and if you believe that it's your country, you can stay here and you can fight for your rights in this country. We're not even arguing with you on that. What we're saying is, can we have a part two? Can we have an option B on the table? Or are we going to put all of our chips in this American
Yeah,
thing?
that's what I'm saying. Like Jay Jackson said, that's not the point. ADOS ain't talking about leaving, except for me.
But do they support people that want to leave? So 98%, I say 95% of ADOS in America is going to stay right here in America.
I say 99.
But you're gonna fight. Yeah, I agree with you. It's even higher. But you are going to fight that little small percentage that wants to. We're not forcing them. These people who want to go to Africa want to go to Africa. So, like I said, are you going to get out, or the 99 or whatever percent going to get out on the runway and stop the plane from taking off? Like, I don't understand why that's such a threat to you. Y'all can't leave. You got to stay right. What? It's 99 fucking percent of y'all staying right here in this country. What's the fucking problem?
America is our inheritance. That's the thinking of the majority of the ADOS.
But what I'm saying is, let's say I agree with you. You got 99% of our people on the in America with you that you can work with. Why are you fighting the 1% that wants to build something out? That if they, let's say you allow them to do it and you don't hate on it, and they actually manage to get the shit done, wouldn't that benefit the other 99? You actually will have an ADOS nation state on the continent that you can actually do trade with. I see the positive of it. I don't see the negative of it, especially considering the fact the only people that want to go to Africa are the people that want to go to Africa. So when people want to raise this straw man up of niggas on the corner and you bringing the same shit over to Africa, no nigga, ain't no nigga on no corner in Brooklyn thinking about getting a passport and going to Africa.
Right. Or even have passports.
Thank you. So what are you talking about? The only people that want to go there are the people that want to go there. So are you going to get out on the runway and stop the plane from taking off? And if you're going to do that, why? That's all I'm asking. Can anybody answer that? Like, why are you so against us having a nation state? Especially when we're not that hardcore with you doing it right here in America. Like I said, I support Killer Mike.
Mm-hmm.
I support him because he actually walks the talk. He's trying to do stuff here in America and rally people. He's trying to get people to put money in black banks, support black businesses. I would be a bootlicking Negro if I was against that.
Right.
So is it asking too much for you to support us and what we're trying to do? That's unacceptable. When 95% and like you said, 99 is staying right here in America.
99.6.
Yeah, right here in America. But yet you threaten by the 0.4% that want to go to Africa.
Right.
That doesn't make any sense to me. It makes absolutely no sense to me. And I really wish that somebody who is hardcore ADOS here in America would explain
Hey,
that to me.
there's a guy, Black Skinny's Amazing, said that you promised him a conversation on this. Do you want him
I
to come
haven't
on?
forgotten him. I haven't forgotten him.
Can he come on or?
Sure, if he wants to.
Black Skinny's, put your email address in the chat room and I'll send you the link.
Actually, I got his email address.
Black Skinny's Amazing. Black Skin is amazing.
Black Skin is amazing, I believe.
Oh, Black Skin is amazing. Okay, it's all
Right.
one word. Okay. Y'all know I'm slow, so you know. Please forgive me.
Let me see if I can find his
What's your email address? Black Skin is amazing.
He left it for me on a thread. Let me see if I can find it.
Okay.
And peace to him anyway for just approaching me in the right way. You know, he's very respectful. He came to me and said he wanted to have a show with me. So I appreciate that energy coming from him. Let's see. Where's his email?
Dude, Black Skin is amazing. Put your email address in the chat room.
I'm gonna get it for you in 1 second, Dennis.
Okay. Jay Jackson, I appreciate it.
Black Skin. Oh, okay.
Everyone, make sure you hit that like button as well. We have 212 people watching, only 52 likes. Make sure you hit that like button.
Tell me if you see this, Dinez. I put it in the Facebook thread.
Okay. All right. Hold on. Let's see here.
See, I'm behaving, man. This is much better. I'm behaving. I think I'm being, you know, cordial and nice. I'm not flipping out. That's cool.
Dude, Black Skin is amazing. Stop. Oh, you know what? I don't think he could put his email. Oh, you sent it to me anyway. So
yeah.
Come on, Paige. Pull up. All right. Yeah, Black Skin. Okay. All right. Black Skin is amazing. I'm about to send you the link. So you could come on.
Like I said, man, I'm open to conversation, and I'm not asking questions to be sarcastic or stupid. I'm trying to really get some insight. I want to know where people is coming from, because I don't understand why we can't do both. You can do both. If you want to stay here and you want to fight for your rights inside of America, by all means, do it. But what shouldn't you try to at least establish something somewhere else?
Right.
If it's possible. I mean, our sister Belle just came back from Rwanda, and she has all.
Is she back?
Yeah, she's back. She has all types of glowing things to talk about. And actually, I think I had sent you a message. She wants to do an interview with you with the guy that she was there with, a local from Uganda who was a tour guide.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I don't know. You're gonna have to get together to figure out when that's gonna be time wise, but that would be a good show for everybody to let them know that a lot of stuff you're hearing about Africa is just pure propaganda. And you building off the propaganda rather than just, you know, learning something. Let's go to the people. I mean, you're on Dynash channel. Shouldn't that give you a little insight into what's going on the continent? Paul Kagami's no joke, man. There's not many people that I really want to meet because I'm not really into celebrities or, you know, personalities, but I really want to meet that dude. If for nothing else, just to shake his hand.
Let's see.
Those people were coming off a freaking genocide, and
Crazy.
they were able to turn their situation around in 10 years. And we sitting up here talking about how a nation state is unbelievable. That's unrealistic.
That's a great show topic.
But yet, expecting reparations to go through the House of Representatives, the Senate, and get signed by the president, that's realistic. And like I said, I ain't against it, man. I've never been against the concept of reparations. I just think that we keep putting the cart before the horse. We got to get ourselves organized. Did anybody else in the group express any dislike toward the concept of an ADOS fund? I mean, should we have that?
I think Fuentes, some guy named Fuentes was here we go. DeAndre Fuentes. He was upset about it.
So oh my God, why? Did he express why he's upset about it?
He said the Jews got theirs, Japanese got theirs. WTF. But you've already broke
he's talking about something else. I'm talking about, should we, Fuentes, have...
No. He's saying that we shouldn't because the government owes us that money.
What does that have to do with us trying to organize our own funds and putting aside funds for ourselves for our own interests? If you had a nation, you would be getting taxed by your nation. I mean, I would prefer that. I would prefer we have a nation state and tax our citizens, and that way that's how we could collect our funds. But since we don't have that and we're here in America, then you would have to put those funds or invest those funds into your situation here in America. I don't see anything wrong with that. So you're saying you shouldn't start your own bank account because you're waiting for somebody to give you money?
Yeah, you're waiting for that inheritance from grandma.
All right, well then that's the mentality that we're dealing with. Is there anybody else that wants to chime in?
I'm waiting for your boy to come on. I sent him the link. Black skin is amazing. Where are you? All right, black skin is amazing. You have 1 minute to show up. And please, after 1 minute, don't come on. Hey, DeAndre Fuentes, would you like to come on? DeAndre Fuentes, would you like to come on the show? I can send you the link. Shout out to Chief Drino. Thank you for the super chat.
Peace, Drino. I usually catch Drino when I'm at work. Like, he be doing these live streams at 4 o'clock in the morning. So that's when I catch him.
DeAndre, would you like to come on? Okay, Black Skin is Amazing says, hang on, I'm going on Chrome. I mean, damn, it don't take you.
You notice how everybody has a difficult time getting on your live stream except me? Like, you send me the link, I just go right in.
No, it's just, I don't know what it is. It's not really everybody. I mean, Kyla's cool. Everybody else is cool. It's just, you know.
You know what? It's tricky if you're trying to do that shit on a phone.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it gets tricky. Like, you got to do it in a Chrome browser.
Mm-hmm. True. Hey, DeAndre, do me a favor. Email me your email address, and so once brother Black Skin is Amazing gets off, you could come on. But I know it don't take this long to boot up a web browser.
Copy and paste the link into your Chrome browser.
Yeah, it don't take this long to open up a web browser. I mean, goodness.
But in the meantime, while he's doing that,
so just the we built this country mentality. It's just, is that a failed mentality? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
To be honest with you, like, in the past, I fought against it. But what I'm saying is, it really doesn't make sense for me to fight against it because all black people ain't going to Africa.
Right.
That's just a fact.
True.
And there's a small percentage who are really interested in the continent, like you, who go there, do research, talk to the locals, talk to the people to try to find out exactly what's going on over there, and who actually want to get out of here. There's a small percentage of us. So for me to fight against, if you feel, I used to fight against it, but I don't want to do that anymore. What I want to do is find a common ground. And the common ground is, we're not fighting you on whether you feel America is your country or not. What we're saying is, you can have that fight with 95% of the population of black folks here in America. You can have that fight. We're not even in that fight. We're in that little small 5 to 2% that want to go over to the continent and establish something, some sovereign piece of land on the continent. That's what we want to do. So how does what we want to do conflict with your fight for your own country here in America? That's my question. Where's the conflict?
Again, the hardliners, the ADOS hardliners, is pretty much their train of thought is it's ADOS, do it right here in America or bust.
So 95 and 98 ain't enough. You got to have 100.
100.
Wow. Name something where there's 100% success ratio. Anything.
Let's see here. Hold on. I could think of something.
I mean, unless we get into the sun rising in the morning and setting at night.
The sun rising. There you go.
That's about it. But when you talk about anything else, if you have a 98% success ratio, you go into the Hall of Fame, and no matter what sport you play. So so if you have 98, your issue is you don't have the other two. That's some psychotic bullshit to me. That is psychotic to me.
Hey, DeAndre, are you going to send me your email address? Do you want to come on or not? I guess Blaskin is Amazing has dial-up internet, so he's still fucking with AOL. I don't know what else to say. This Negro has dial-up AOL internet, so I guess he will not be joining us today.
He got that old school sound.
Yeah, exactly. He has dial-up. Talking about he needs to open up his Chrome browser. You got dial-up AOL. So I mean, I don't know what else.
What is the general consensus? Are there a lot of people in the chat room?
We have 255 people. Only 90
Oh, damn.
likes up.
Wow.
DeAndre, I just put the email address in the damn chat. Here.
Oh, there he is.
Okay. You finally got the dial-up working. The AOL.
I see the picture, but I don't hear anything.
Yo, I'm here right now.
I hear you.
You finally got on. You got the dial-up working.
Yeah.
Peace, fam.
Hello?
Yeah, we're here.
Oh, can you hear us?
Oh, yeah, I can. Yeah, I can hear you.
I was saying peace.
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh, you got a delay.
Amazing. Do you have the show playing in the background?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. I'll turn it on.
You gotta mute that.
All right. I got you.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right, fam. So, what do you disagree with in this conversation, Blaskin?
Well, I'm definitely a ADOS person, 100%. But the Holip Sims. How do you say your name? Holip Sims?
Holip. Just say Holip.
Yeah. Okay, Holip. You got to think about when you keep saying Africa, right? Going to Africa. Abraham Lincoln was talking about that back in 1860 to 1865 about getting ships sent to Africa, taking the blacks back. And you got to remember, those blacks went to the White House and said, this country was built on our blood, man. We sold our women, our wives, our kids for this country. We ain't going nowhere. So this has already been talked about and on a much bigger scale. And blacks aren't going. Go ahead, brother.
Let me just cut you so that we can get on the right page here. That's a straw man. And the reason why let me tell you why that's a straw man based on what I'm saying.
Okay, let me just say real quick. That is a fact. Not a straw man is something that's fictional. What I just told you was a fact. So you're wrong.
No,
You're
no, no,
wrong
no,
on
no.
using the term straw man. Okay,
No,
go ahead.
I'm not wrong on using straw man. Straw man is when you take somebody's position and misrepresent it and then knock it down. That's a straw man. I'm not saying that all black people is going to Africa. So whenever somebody does that, they're creating a straw man and then they're building off of that straw man. That's not my position. I've
Hold it.
always said there's out of the 100% of ADOS here in America, you know how many is interested in going to Africa?
99.9. I mean, 0.0000001%, if even that.
So that means that other 99% is going to be right here in America, and y'all can use them to do whatever you want to do in terms of fighting for your power or whatever you want to do here in America. What I'm saying is, what is wrong with that 0.04% that want to go to Africa of their own free will and try to establish something? What's wrong with that?
Okay, hold it. First of all, you mischaracterized what I said. You created a straw man yourself. I didn't say what you just said.
Tell me how I did that.
Okay, tell me what you just said that I said that you said. Go ahead. I'm going to show you.
You created this scenario. You went back to Abraham Lincoln and talking about how we ain't going to Africa. We can do it. That's not even my argument.
Okay, what is your
argument? I don't care about that. What I'm saying is there's a small percentage of Africans, ADOS, here in America that have zero interest in doing anything in America. We want to build our own nation state off the shores of this country and go to Africa. It's only a small percentage of us. How is that hurting the overall ADOS movement, who's going to be 99% here in America?
Okay, hold it. It's not even a small percentage. The people that were actually no, hang on, hold it. The people. Okay, you want to talk percentages? We've had what 200 since Abraham Lincoln. How many blacks have gone to Africa since Abraham Lincoln?
You're missing my point. You're not even addressing my point.
Okay, the point is that you're saying there's a small percentage. I am telling you, it's that small percentage. It's even smaller than what you think it is.
You're making my point.
No,
you're actually making the point for me. If it's that small of a percentage, what's the problem?
Okay, the problem is that you're imagining this movement. There is no movement to Africa. Look, okay, hold it. Look at yourself. You're in America. If you wanted to be in Africa, you would go.
I'll be in Africa. I'll be in Africa. That's like telling me, no. That's like telling me I'm in New York right now. So you're telling me because I'm not in California, that means I can't go?
No, that's America. You are in America and you ain't going to Africa. I'm saying you're just.
You're telling me I'm not going. You're telling me I'm not going to Africa.
I am telling you.
What does that have to do with you staying right here in America? You're not answering my question.
But you're
99% of your people. 99% of the people in America are going to be in America. So you've already won.
It's not a win. It's not a win.
It is a win. So then what are you fighting against that 1% for?
No one's fighting against you. I'm just saying that what you're saying is delusional. You are not.
So you're saying. So what difference does it make if it's delusional? If we're crazy, it's only 1% of us that's going. You got 99% over here in America. Why are you fighting that?
I am not fighting. I'm just saying that.
Why does it matter to you whether we're delusional or not?
Okay, hold it. No, I'm talking to you. Hold it. You are in America right now. You're not going any place. You've lived your whole life here. You're gonna stay here. What you're doing is selling pipe.
Do you know what I'm gonna be doing in my own personal life?
Oh, okay. Hold on. Is Colin Thanos on? Did Colin Thanos sneak into the chat?
Yo, how can we? Black skin. I gotta say this, man. How can we have a rational conversation when you're trying to tell me what I'm gonna do with my own life? You don't even know what my financial situation is. You don't know what my plans are. But you're gonna get on the internet and tell me what I'm gonna do and what I'm not gonna do.
Okay, hold it. Let me ask you a question, sister. How old are you? How old are you?
What difference does that make?
No. I asked you a specific question. You said answer yours. I've answered. I asked you about how old are you?
Well, hold on. What does that have to do with the?
Easy because I do believe I'm speaking to a grown man. If a grown man has not moved to Africa, he ain't going nowhere.
Okay, well, hold on.
See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying?
Hold on. Let me jump in real quick. How old was W. Du Bois when he moved to Ghana?
W. Du Bois? Okay, you're talking about. Okay, this is a man who lived his life for the black movement. Holip has done nothing for the black movement outside of YouTube. W. Du Bois dedicated his whole life. He said at the end of his life that his whole life in America he's been nothing but a nigger. That's what he. This is a man who dedicated his entire life to the movement. Holip is
This
not.
guy knows. This guy knows an awful lot about me, considering that he just met me on the internet.
Okay.
What the fuck
Okay.
do you know? What the fuck do you know what I'm doing?
Hold up. Okay, hold it. What skin do you have in the game as far as moving
What
to Africa?
skin do you have in the game?
No, I'm not moving to Africa. This is my heritage, America.
You're avoiding the fucking point that I was making. You danced all over it.
I
You
am
danced
not
all over
avoiding
it. My point, and I'm gonna go back to my point, and my point is this. If you got 99% of black people that's staying here in America, why you got your panties in a bunch about 1% that want to go to the continent of their own free will?
Okay, hold up. You are not Uhuru. That man, he speaks, he's living what he says. You aren't. You won't answer
Dynass, do
that
you hear
question.
this?
Okay,
Hold
it.
Do you hear this, Dynass?
First of all, let's go back to W.E. Du Bois. So you know W.E. Du Bois was like anti-African, moving to Africa until he turned like damn near 60 years old. Then he finally moved.
Like 90 years.
He sabotaged Marcus Garvey. He sabotaged Booker T. Washington. So again,
And,
the powers be.
and his whole point, and see, this is what I love. You can't defend your position. So what you do is you resort to personal attack. What if Holip goes to the continent or Holip doesn't go to the continent? What the fuck does that have to do with the point that I'm raising in the discussion that we're having right now?
Hold up. What you don't understand is this: is that you must live what you say you are. You're not. You're not living what you say. That's what I'm saying. You're selling pipe.
What does that? All right,
you are not living what you say.
So you know what? Let me. Hold on. I'm gonna validate your point. Holip is full of shit. Holip is in America. Holip's not going to the continent. So now that we have established that Holip is full of shit, can we get back to the point that I was making? Why does it affect you if 1% of our people want to go to the continent and build something, if 99% is staying right here in America? Address that point.
Hold it. It doesn't.
Address that point. We've already established that I'm full of shit. We've already established that I'm full of shit. So you address that point.
Hold on. I am not offended or anybody who wants to leave America. Hang on. I gave you a second.
So what do we have?
No. Hang on. I've said, which history has shown, since Abraham Lincoln said, I would build ships to get blacks out of America to Africa, to Haiti, to South America, right? Blacks have not left. They haven't.
The deal is, it's called Liberia. It's called Liberia.
Okay, what? 2,000 people out of what? 4 million at the time? You're talking about insignificant numbers. Now even less.
Yeah, but we built a nation. But that's no small numbers.
Exactly. This America is our inheritance. The slaves themselves.
Oh, Jesus Christ, man.
America is our inheritance. We put blood, sweat, equity into America. It was built upon our ancestors. ADOS. This America belongs to us.
That's not even my argument. I agree with you. That's not even my argument.
Okay, I understand what you're saying, Holip. I'm just saying that.
I'm waiting for you to address it because you still haven't. You're still talking about me.
No, I'm saying that when someone says that this is the movement that should be, you must be living that out.
So once again, you're talking about me. We've already established that I'm full of shit. We already established that. So now that we've established that I'm full of shit and that I'm not living what I'm talking, now that we established that I have no skin in this game, I cede all of that to you. Now, my question after I cede all that is, why does 1% who want to go to Africa affect 99% to stay in a black ass right here in America to fight with white people for your rights? How does that affect you?
I answered that several times. It doesn't.
So then why are we having this discussion?
Because you're saying something that you yourself you're not living.
Oh Lord, and then we're going right back to me. How many times do I have to say you've proven the point that I'm full of shit?
Okay, then why are you promoting something that you don't live in? I'm just saying that it's weird to me as an ADOS, right? Hang on. It's weird to me as an ADOS to hear someone speak about a movement that they themselves are not living out.
Once again, you're resorting to personalizing it with me, and you're not addressing my overall point.
I
find it odd that you're doing that.
You're not listening.
It almost seems as if you don't have an ability to address that point.
I just addressed it. Go.
So then why are we concentrating on what Holip is doing? What Holip is doing is my own personal choice. I can go to Africa or I can stay here. What the fuck does that have to do with the point that we're raising?
No, I've answered your question 5 times. I'm not going to answer it again. I told you. Anybody who wants to leave America,
No,
can go.
you're saying that it doesn't mean anything, but yet the whole crux of your argument is how full of shit I am.
Okay, hold up. I'm just saying from one brother to another. If you're gonna talk about a movement,
Oh, here we go. You
no,
repeat the
hang
same
on,
thing.
no, hang on. Be like Uhuru, right? He's living it. Just live it, bro. You know,
We've already. How many times do I have to say I'm full of shit for you?
I know. I'm not saying you're full of shit. I'm just pointing.
You are saying I'm full of shit. You're saying that I don't live what I'm talking. You're saying I'm full of shit. Fine. Holip is full of shit. We can all agree in the chat room. We can all agree here that Holip is full of shit. Now that we've determined this Holip is full of shit, address the point of why people, ADOS here in America, seem to have a fucking problem with people that want to go to the continent and establish something of their own.
I just said to you for the 10th time. Are you listening? Are you hard of hearing? Go. I'm just saying that you, Holip, are not Uhuru. Uhuru is living out what he says. That's
once again, Holip, you full of shit. All right, now that we've determined that, where do we go from here? What's the next?
Hey, you're using sarcasm. You're using sarcasm.
No, I'm doing every time I ask you to address the overall point, you want to come back and come at me personally.
Have I not addressed your overall point? Leave. Is that plain enough?
You dismissed it. You dismissed it, and then you went back to concentrate on me, which I've already ceded.
Hold up. Of course I've
already ceded it. I'm not living. I'm not doing what Dynass does. I'm not living. I'm not walking the walk. I'm just talking the talk. I am completely full of shit. There you go.
Okay, hold up. Like once again, you're using sarcasm.
So now what? Where do we go from there?
That doesn't help your cause.
But what cause? What cause are you talking about?
No. Let's move on because I've answered your question. You said you're full of shit. Fine. Okay, let's use your term. You're full of shit. Okay.
Right.
That's done.
Yeah, it's done. That's a done deal.
Yeah. What I'm saying to you, Uhuru, is that since Abraham Lincoln, blacks have been offered the ability to lead. Abraham was going to do it himself. Blacks. I'm just saying that movement to Africa, even a small percentage, will never happen. That's all I'm saying. It's never happened in history, in American history. It never will. It never will.
It never happened?
It never happened.
Really? That's
interesting.
Never happened. So Liberia never happened.
Once again, you're talking about a few thousand people out of 4.5.
You said never happened.
But again, they built a nation. It doesn't matter.
They built a nation that lasted for 150 years, almost 160. That never happened.
Hey, Marcus
Garvey. Never happened.
Marcus Garvey was here. How many people he got to go to Africa or any other place outside of America? Right?
Are you denying that Liberia lasted for almost 160 years?
Oh, Liberia is still here, but that only started with a few.
I'm talking about under African American rule for 160 years. You denying that?
Ex-slaves.
You denying that?
No, ex-slaves.
But I thought you said we never did it.
Okay. If you're talking about a few thousand people out of over 4.5 million people, fine. I'll give you that.
You said never.
No.
If anything, you're making our case. You're not actually going against us. You're making our case. You're saying that our numbers were so insignificant, but yet with those insignificant numbers, we were able to establish a nation state.
Okay. Let's. Okay, I see you don't understand history. Let's talk about Liberia. Who supported?
No. You better be careful.
Hold up. Who supported Liberia? The white man. The white man gave the land. No. The white man
I'm gonna let you take over.
Quiet. No, hang on. Yeah. This is a fact. The white man was the one who carved out that land for those few slaves that left America. The white man. So it was never independent of the white man. It was the white man who started. The white man controls Libya. That's a fact. So if you want to use that small, minute percentage, Liberia. If you want to use that small percentage of Liberia, the white man is the one who carved that land out and gave it to those ex-slaves, and the white man still controls Africa. This is fact. So you're not getting away from the white man by going to another continent. What you're gonna run into is what Uhuru will tell you. The
white man is Thanos. The white man is Thanos.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah. The white man and the Chinese.
The white man got the Infinity Gauntlet with all the stones.
So you're not going anywhere. So
what sense does it make to be in the seat of the white man's power?
Easy. This country was built literally on the blood, sweat, and tears.
Are you going to deny that America is the seat of the white man's power?
Of course.
So you're going to establish your power base inside of his seat of power?
Oh, yeah, no, this is where we disagree, and I told you in the text, right? This is where we disagree, right? I believe in integration through absolutely integration, because the white man has all that shit, from my ancestors.
Oh,
So we must integrate.
Carla on the phone.
Part of that's a fact. That's
Please
a
tell
fact.
me Carla is on the phone.
No, hey, listen. The way you said you believe in integration, I started laughing because it just sounded like you just integration in like a sleazy way. I have access to all the white hoes, and all the
I'm talking about integration. Like,
draws.
no, I'm talking about integration at every level.
That's how that shit sounded like, bro.
Where's Carla?
I'm talking about
Where's Carla?
Martin Luther King Jr. promoted that, right? That is a dream that I believe in, and it's our inheritance. Because once again, this is America. They have our shit, and integration is the way to gain your shit. How do you think Muslims take over a country? Muslims don't take over a country.
What country did they take over?
No.
What country did they take over?
Well, hey, go to Canada right now. Muslims are
but the Muslims took over Canada.
No. That's how you start. Is that you you integrate. That's how you do it.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is 98% enough for you to consider that a successful ratio?
90% of what? Like what you're
90. If 98% of black people are staying here in America, wouldn't you consider that a resounding success for you, for your side?
Of course, but I'm saying that you're not even going to get that 0.01%. You haven't got Marcus.
But why does that even concern you if you got 98%? I'm just trying to figure out why is your energy about being so anti-African?
Am I?
When you have the majority of people on your side here in America,
okay,
that's still not enough for you to work with. You need that 2%.
No, hold up. Once again, you are miscategorizing. You that's another straw man.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are because
no,
I never.
I'm not.
Okay,
no, I'm not.
Okay,
we are having an argument right now about the validity of building something in Africa when you got 98% of people over here in America and your motherfuckers haven't built a dirt road.
Hey, hold up. When did I say that I'm against you or anyone's going to Africa? When? This is a straw man. I'm pointing out to everybody. When did I say it?
Not through saying how it's not going to happen. What are you talking about?
No. You said no. Selling a pipe dream, what you're doing, versus the actuality of doing.
You just said that I'm selling a pipe dream, but yet you not against it.
Okay, if I say someone,
you're talking out of both sides of your mouth.
No. If someone says they can fly, right? I would say you're selling a pipe dream. I'm not against someone's flying. Show me. But you're selling a pipe dream because you can't fly. So what I'm saying to you is that you're selling a pipe dream. You're not going to Africa, right? So you're selling a pipe dream. But if you go to Africa and build a Wakanda, I'm all for it. But it's not going to happen. No, I'm not. I'm showing you the straw man after straw man that you are creating.
All right, brother. I got
We're going in circles with this conversation.
Yeah, brother. I appreciate you coming on next time, but I see Kala's on. I want Kala to talk.
All right, I'm gonna get out. Hey, yo, Huru, I'm gonna get out, but I want to say to you, brother, I'm proud of you because you speak and live what you say. That is a big thing to me. No. Hey, hang on. I'm speaking to you, Huru. I'm gonna get off, but you, Huru, I just want to say, black man to black man. You are actually living proof. And so all these people get on this show talk about Pan-African, let's go to Africa. They're full of shit. But you are on point, brother, and I respect you. And everyone should respect your position because you are living it. Everyone else is just talking about it. And so I give you, Uhuru, much respect. And I can't say anything about you because you're actually living it. Holip ain't living it. You living it, my brother. So I respect you. And when you speak about Africa, I respect your position because you're living it. But I can't respect Holip speaking about a position that he's not living. Okay? So I'm out. Peace, brothers.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
You know what's ironic about that? Let me address what he just said.
Oh, go ahead.
His position is that ADOS in America is going to get reparations for the white man. Is he living it?
No.
But that's not a contradiction. He's here in America and his ideology has not manifested into reality, but he's talking about he's living his ideology. No, nigga, you just in America expecting a check from white people that you ain't going to get. And you got the nerve to talk about what I'm not doing? It's crazy. And you're going to tell me how I'm not going to be on the continent when we're making plans to go to Rwanda right now. So when I get to Rwanda, what? That's still, it's like I said, I don't want to make this about me because it's not about me. Address the overall point. Your motherfuckers got 99% of black folks here in America that can get engaged in this fight for reparations with you and the white man. Why are y'all so amped up and anti African when it comes to the 1% that want to build something on the continent? And he did not answer that question, despite the fact that he said, oh, I answered it 10 times. You ain't answered it fucking once. All you did was try to come back to me and make it personal against me because you couldn't address the position.
Kala, you wanna say something? You wanna ask something, Kala?
Yeah, man, that was some quasi debate, man. This guy was basically like, oh, I don't seem to understand that. Why are you going to personally attack Holip, right, and all of us and stuff like that? Before we always said the BAIO, we're just a think tank, we're just a think tank of brothers who get around. We're not professional activists. We're not stuff like that. We're people.
Yeah, I'm a working class person, man.
People who. They're like that. So we got all different types of people. We got professionals, we got engineers, we got scientists. Every time I look over the thing, more people attack us every day. Hold up, right? You see the push notifications, boom, a new member signing up. We're doing something right. And then the people who are signing up, we look at the professionals, city planners, engineers, science, whatever, doctors, These are the type of people that's drawing to the BAIO. So we're saying something right. We have not collected one dime from the public. You can't put that on us. We have not collected one dime yet. But we know that this is going to be a hard sell. We're going for the ultimate. And now the ideology is starting to seep in. This is mark the 400 years of us being in America. This is
not. Kala, everything that you're saying is invalid. Like, we didn't discover anything about Rwanda. We had BAIO member go to Rwanda and do fact finding for us, but that didn't count because you're here in America.
Oh yeah, no, nothing counts. You know what I'm saying? Nothing. Yeah. The fact that we got people in Ghana and Nigeria, the fact that we got members that's doing a major project in Nigeria and South Africa and also, that
doesn't count.
That doesn't count,
because Kala personally have not been to the continent yet.
Yeah.
Because I would love to see how some person who knows absolutely nothing about our personal lives can tell us where we're going and what we're going to do. That's really strange. Somebody can make the comment and tell somebody else what they're not going to do.
You ask them this. This is what the BAO is all about, right? We've already said, okay, we basically grew up. We're mature adults. We look at the situation in America and we're saying white people, every time we try to integrate with white people, they move away. They keep running from us. They can't tell us in many ways they don't want to fuck with us, except that they can use us, whatever. So the bottom line is America has not been the country that we thought it was going to be. We thought we were going to have this Bill Cosby America and Black America's arrived and everything. No, white people, if you don't understand, they understand. There's never going to be no friggin' big kumbaya between black and white because of what? The big elephant in the room, slavery. They know it. You should know it. There's not going to be no kumbaya between black and white, not the ADOS and white America. African immigrants, everybody else, fine. You know what I'm saying? Chinese, everyone's fine. But white people know that stain of slavery is so unforgivable that they don't know what to do with us.
Yo, Kala, we just had some major information go out on this live stream. Can you correct the record about Liberia?
Let me say this. I'm so sick of the misinformation, right? All it takes is you visiting the library. That's like 4 books I read, One is the book called Liberia, America's African Friend. That's a good one. Then there's a book called This Our Dark Bitter Canaan, Bitter Canaan, and the other one was like called Behold the Promised Land. Those 4 books right there. And there's other book called Africland, on Afric Shores. Get those 4 books, right? And get real authors who have real archaeological and research in Liberia, real Liberian history, not the pornography. See, that's another thing about Black America and everybody else when it comes to Black history. You got so much misinformation that anybody can call themselves a historian. And it's almost like a pornographic thing. You have these American Liberians that were put there by the white man. They acted so white, they oppressed the native Liberians.
Yeah, bullshit. Right.
Stupid stuff that was an absolute lie. Then when you read the real history of Liberia, read the fact that they were dumped on the shores of America the American colonization society had nothing to do with the development of Liberia. It was brilliant African American ex-slaves from the Caribbean and America that built Liberia. the founding fathers of Liberia, all the founding fathers of Liberia, Hillary Teague, John Jay, Joseph Jenkins Roberts, E.J. Roy, all these great men, the Russworm, and the most famous is the McGills. The McGill clan is the ones who started the idea of Pan-Africanism, saying that race, we have to do what the white man does. He bases everything on race. It don't matter if he's Portuguese, Dutch, everything, he's a white man. We have to teach the local Africans that put race and color before your tribe and everything. That's how Africa will survive. And that's what Liberia was all about. It was a real only Pan-Africanist state. Pan-Africanism in our definition means no matter what tribe you're from, you have black skin, you're from Africa, and you're a slave descendant, you are one. That's ADOS, Haitian, HDOS, whatever. Haitian slave descendant. We are one race because we're black. Because race just means that the other people that's the enemy of us is the white man, and the yellow man, everything else. We're the black man. And the
Carla, let me ask you something.
Black man's
and then we got the other caller on too. But go ahead, Holip.
Carla.
Yeah.
How many of us went over to Liberia to establish this? What were the numbers?
It was a total of, remember something, the population from America was like around 25 to 30,000, right? They concentrated on the coastal city. They built small coastal cities. They control the coast, right? They were the majority in the what was called Liberia proper, a strip of land that was 40 miles in and like 600 miles on the coast, right? But they claimed a territory that stretched into the Guinea Highlands, opposite to the Nimba Mountains and the Guinea Highlands. So it was a big territory they had recognized claim over, but they only occupied the coastline.
How many though? How many numbers?
Oh yeah, it was a total of like between the Caribbean and everything like that. The total population was no more by the 20th century of 100,000 people.
No. I'm not talking about how many people occupied it. I'm talking about to build it initially.
Initially, it was only like a few thousand people.
Okay. Didn't he not just make the point in the case for us?
Yeah, and
he did. Yeah, he did.
Still standing.
So you're telling me that 1% or 2%. I was saying 5%, but Dinah said actually it's less than 1%.
It's going to be less than 1%.
Yeah, well, okay.
So 2,000 people were able, or a couple of thousand people were able to establish a nation state that lasted for 150 years. But you're telling me that it never happened, first of all, so it's wrong. You're fundamentally and objectively wrong.
Yeah, but I kept telling them that.
But
then your argument is, well, it ain't enough for y'all to do it. Well, if we can get a couple of thousand, we can do it.
All right.
And check this out. Not only that, the point was missed was this. It was the United States and the J. Edgar Hoover before him, white planters in the South sabotaged all efforts to leave the country. You couldn't leave the country. My novel, Journey to the Promised Land, was the only successful self-voyage of African American. Every other one was made by Europeans and whites and everything like that. My novel, Journey to the Promised Land, was based on the fact that African Americans founded the Liberia Exodus Company in Charleston, South Carolina. Black people came from all over America, Canada, and everything like that to be part of a long line of voyage. Those people ascending on Charleston all over North America because that was going to be the pipeline. Soon they were going to buy steamships, everything like that. And they said, we're going to get the fuck out of here. We're not going to sit here. They saw no hope in America. So they were going to start colonizing Africa. One of the things people I talk about.
And then caller, we have the caller on. So
okay, go ahead.
All right, David Fuentes.
Yes, it's DeAndre.
Okay, DeAndre. Sorry about that. So, what do you disagree with in regards to our conversation today?
Yes, the fact that we should have set-asides when there's a movement with ADOS specifically concentrating on being in the driver's seat and pushing our black agenda to these politicians to get what we want and not whore out our vote for nothing. Because when you have a grassroots politician in there, when you get them in there, they're supposed to divide up the resources when you get them in power. If you have somebody just put in front of you and they say, oh, well, they're for the black agenda, you should support them, and they have no foundation in black communities doing things for black people, and then that works against us. So we're fighting to stop that. And then there's international trade between America and Africa. That goes on. I don't have a problem with your other caller. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but if you want to go to Africa, fine. That's no problem. Do your thing. ADOS is gonna rock over here. We're not trying to do both. We're trying to concentrate our forces on one thing. I've worked overseas. I've know people that invest in Uganda, and he's doing his thing. And I let him know, brother, you're not running away from white supremacy because they got you landlocked. You're in Uganda.
Thanos. He's Thanos. He's Thanos.
Oh, Mr. Thanos. So okay.
The white man's affinity gauntlet. Let me ask you something. If you think white supremacy is so great, then why are Americans so butthurt over North Korea? Why has Donald Trump got his finger up Kim Jong-un's ass, licking him or kissing him to mom in love with him or whatnot? That don't sound like the face of white supremacy to me. Why is it only the black man so fucking weak? And why? Because you don't have a nation and land of your own where you can have your own nuclear weapons and defend yourself. That's why you feel like you're helpless. Man the fuck up.
He just it's kind of hard having these conversations because I'm hearing two things at the same time. He said, well, we don't have a problem with you going to establish the nation state, but we're going to do it right here. Isn't that what I just said?
Right.
What I'm asking is, what's the source of the conflict? I'm trying to find common ground. And to me, that's common ground. You do your thing here. We establish the nation state there. Either way, we both benefit if either one of our objectives kick off.
But I
So I don't
remember you
understand.
saying,
I don't understand why there's this anti-African. You can't do it over there. When
well, that's
we
a selective hearing.
fully support what you're doing here. We haven't been against it.
Well, by you keep repeating what you're repeating perpetually, we don't have any problem, but you keep thinking that there's a problem. Go ahead and go over there and do your thing. Build schools, build hospitals, and do international trade with us. No problem. But we are gonna rock over here and make sure our politicians do what we want here.
How is that in conflict with anything that I said?
That's what I'm saying. In other words,
you wanted to deplete resources from people who are focused on concentrating on ADOS agenda.
Oh, okay.
That's
now
what
I get it.
is.
Now I get it.
You take your own resources and do your thing.
If we establish an ADOS fund in America, what you're saying is that should just be dedicated toward the struggle in America, and we shouldn't take any of those funds to establish anything in Africa. Is that right?
That's absolutely correct, because once that's taken care of, once we get our foothold where we need to be, our beachhead, then we can come to the table at a position of power and then do international trade with you.
Well, I want to first of all thank you, because you just drew the distinction that it took fucking 20 minutes for this last dude to do. So I thank you for that. Now I understand where you're coming from.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
That's all that I was gonna say.
Oh, we have the idea of something. We visualize. You got to give people vision of what you're talking about. We say if we have a host country that's going to help us build a city state, and if we the BI, we're not just talking off our ass. We've been studying this I've been studying this for 30 years. How nation states are built. I've watched over the last few decades, right, since I was a young guy in my early 20s, countries that were once third world cesspools, right? Now, how did they get to that point? People pull themselves up out of the brink of poverty. Bangladesh is a thriving economy now. Look, just now, somebody just joined. Another member just signed up as we're talking here. So more talk about it. People just signing up. Why? Because we have a message.
Yo, you know what? Let me tell something to you and Dynas, and this just to show you just how I feel about this whole thing. I'm even willing. At first, I know I said in it earlier that I wouldn't be, but now that I think about it, if African Americans, ADOS here in America, actually had the fortitude to develop a fund where we can pool the resources of Africans in America, and let's say those African Americans didn't want to have nothing to do with the continent, guess what? I would still support it. You know why?
They don't have it
because we ain't doing shit now. It would at least be movement. It would at least be accomplishing something or consolidating some type of resources or the beginning of some type of organization and structure. I would even support that. But I just find it interesting that even though it's such a small, minuscule amount that want to establish something on the continent, the brother just got off and saying he's not willing to dedicate one freaking dime toward the nation state on the continent. But if we establish the nation state, now you want to do trade with us. I just find that interesting.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. These guys are.
So you don't want to support it in any way, shape, or form. But if we get it kicked off, oh yeah, we'll trade with you.
Oh, I know that. We get it kicked. Suddenly you see
that is interesting.
Yeah, you'll see all of them over there. Oh wow, I was down with it in the beginning.
And you know what's so funny, Allah? We'll still trade with them, even after their blatant hypocrisy. We would still do trade with them.
Why? You know why? Because that's what statesmanship is. A statesman, 1 minute you curse each other out, you go to war, and next minute you're playing golf. That's the way it goes. You avoid the war, you're playing golf, and you're making money.
But I think it says a lot about the character of the people on both sides. We are willing to find common ground. We are willing to support you in your endeavors, but you're making a stance that you won't support anything that we're doing. You won't dedicate one fucking dime toward it. We are on our own, unless, of course, it becomes successful. Then you want to be down.
Yeah. Like the Vapors, big. Remember, what's up?
Like Brandy. I wanna be down.
Amazing, boy.
I wanna be down with you.
If anybody in that chat room does not see the hypocrisy of that shit, then I don't even know what to fucking say. And like I said, Holip is an individual. I can choose to go to Africa. I could choose not to. So does that mean that I'm invalidated? Like my whole point of view is invalidated? No. So in order for you to speak on something, you have to be of that. So I never built a bridge, so I can't speak about building bridges because I never built one.
Right.
I can't speak about roads and highways because I never built a road or highway. I can't speak about electrical grids and gas piping and solar energy and tidal and geothermal. I can't speak about any of that stuff because I've never personally developed it. Do you see how fucking stupid that? What that is that's an attempt to straw man the entire position so that you can concentrate on me and not concentrate on the position that I'm stating. And it's so blatantly fucking obvious that it's ridiculous to anybody that's intelligent in the chat room and listening to this live stream. Kala muted himself, it looks like.
No, I don't think so. Did he mute himself? Yeah, he did. Kala, you want to come back, brother? But hold up, hell, we'll pound for show. Go ahead and close out, Holip.
Like I said, I'm looking for the common ground. If you call yourself ADOS, I have no problem with that distinction. If black people here in America decide under ADOS that they're going to form any type of institution or any type of organization, I'm in full support of it. What I'm wondering is, can we get some love on our side? Can we get some love for the people that want to establish something, a nation state for our people on the continent that would benefit ADOS here in America? Can we get some love for that? Or are we going to get constant pushback and people telling us that what we can't do? Because if you tell me what we can't do, then I think it's totally fair for me to throw some shade at what you're trying to do. If you're going to say we can't build a nation state, then is it wrong for me to say that you expect to get reparations passed through the House of Representatives, the Senate, and get signed by the president? What's your chances of getting that done? That's just as much fairy dust and unicorns as building a nation is. So don't try to sit on some fucking moral position as if what you're presenting is so tangible and concrete, because it's not. And the reality is you're not going to get it.
I just
imagine you're not going to get reparations passed through the House. You're not going to get it passed through the Senate, and the president is definitely not going to sign it. So prove me wrong, and we'll prove you wrong. Let's see who ends up getting it first.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Kala.
Check this out.
Yeah, go ahead.
Another thing is, the problem is I was having is where people in capital letters are freaking attacking me and everything. Say, you guys sound like businessmen and people that could build stuff and everything like
wow. That. Guilty as charged.
What about the people who are poor and on welfare Are you gonna leave them behind and whatnot?
No, ask the ADOS about them.
Yeah,
That's their problem.
ADOS problem. You know what I'm saying? We do want the majority of black people interested. That shit, damn. Like the people joining BI. I spent 30 years as an engineer, something like that. I never got over that glass ceiling. I knew those barriers and everything. I knew more than these white boys and everything like that. But I got passed over promotion. God damn, a chance come for me to have my own nation state and everything. I could be on the top thing, training people. I could be on top.
And to be honest, Kala, the answer to that question of what about, what about? Those people are joining the BAIO. That's what about. Those people is getting down with what we're doing. So they're going to be taken care of. It's the people that sit back and you expect us to do it on our own with no support, but then you want to benefit from it when it becomes successful.
Right. I had a brother the other night, Steve brother on the thing. He has a well-known YouTube channel, and he was saying, he asked the Ghanaian guy, he said, we only want black people from America with money. And he said, about me, I'm a poor man. I'm like, that's selfish. If you're gonna build something in Africa, it shouldn't be about you. It should be about
exactly.
More
than likely, I'm not gonna be like when the nation state. I'll probably be gone by the time the nation state gets built. Who knows?
Private. We're planting seeds, like a seed, like cultivation. We're the seed planters. You know what I'm saying? We're planting the seeds. We want to get the land and plant the initial seeds. The future generations are gonna come and build. That's what never happened with Liberia. Every trick and hook and crook to keep us in America from coming to Liberia and flooding the Congo and all these other places to build nation states and everything. We were trapped in America.
You try telling a Jew living in America that he doesn't support the state of Israel.
Right.
Because he's not there.
He's not there. Every Jew in the world supports the state of Israel.
And they don't have to be there. That's a stupid, moronic talking point. And it's only raised because you're trying to distract from the fact that you can't address the position. You have no logical reason to be against that 1% when all the people are right here with you. My question is, when you going to do something with that 99%? Because right now you ain't doing dick.
You got the people here. You're not doing nothing.
You ain't doing dick. You don't have one ADOS dirt road built.
They don't even
cut the bullshit.
They don't even have a registered political party.
No.
I don't understand that.
You don't have a political party. You got nothing. You don't even fucking know what a black agenda is. What does reparations have to do with your roads and your community being paved? The majority of political stuff that y'all should be concentrating on affects you in your everyday life and what's happening in your community. Are y'all voting on a local level for the representatives that represent you in your city and your state or your township? You worried about reparations, some grandiose idea of reparations. What about the everyday shit that's happening in your life right now?
Preach, brother. Preach.
Everybody, and then they want to accuse us of being pie in the sky and fairy dust and unicorns.
Yeah.
Do you even know who your public advocate is in your city? Come on, man. But anyway, BAIO, for those who want to support the nation state, because that's where I am, whether I'm there personally or whether I'm supporting it financially, I'm for a nation state.
Everyone, thank you so much for joining us. Let me put the link to the site in the chat room. If you're interested in the BIO, please come to the site, join, let us know what you could contribute and what you offer and what you can bring to the table. But everyone, thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you go to search for Huru on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and Facebook. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Until next time, family.
Hey,
peace.
Mention Wednesday night, College.
Oh yeah, Wednesday night, me and Calathanos will be on Wednesday night between 8 and 8:30. Just depends when, but we'll be on Wednesday night between 8 and 8.
Peace, brothers. Love you all.
All right, love you too. Peace.